Hey friends, today we are trying out Preppy Kitchen's recipe for red velvet sandwich cookies. After making Claire Saffitz's recipe for cream cheese Swiss meringue buttercream, I found myself with a little surplus frosting. What better application for that than filling these sandwich cookies? Without any further ado, let's get right into it. Here in a large glass bowl, I've got some all-purpose flour. To that, I'm gonna add our baking soda, baking powder, and kosher salt. And then we'll sift in our Dutch processed cocoa powder. So lumpy. And then we'll just give that a thorough whisk to combine. The recipe calls for semi-sweet chocolate chips. However, I greatly prefer chopped chocolate bar. I think it melts a little bit nicer in the cookie. I'm also going to be using a blend of semi-sweet and bittersweet chocolate just to give a little bit more complexity. Whenever I'm chopping chocolate, I like to use a serrated knife, so let's get right into it. And I like the way this is looking here. And what I really love about chopping the chocolate is that you get so much variety in chocolate experience when you're eating the cookie. Like these bigger pieces are going to be kind of like a chocolate pool situation. We've got some smaller pieces that are going to be just mixed throughout. And then this dusty bit, it's kind of going to be like chocolate shrapnel just mixed throughout the dough evenly. Now we've got everything prepped so we can move on to the wet ingredients. Here in the bowl of the stand mixer, we've got 2 sticks of unsalted room temperature butter. To that, we're going to add some granulated sugar. And then we're gonna beat this for about 2 minutes till it's nice and light and fluffy using our paddle attachment. I'm gonna do a quick scrape since we've got some butter and sugar that's trying to escape the bowl here. And that's been exactly 2 minutes, and you can see the texture here. It's considerably lighter, it's nice and fluffy. While mixing over low speed, I'm gonna add in our room temperature egg, and we'll just beat until that's incorporated. So that's looking really nice. You can see the texture here. Next, we've got a couple teaspoons of vanilla extract. Here I am going to diverge from the written recipe just a little bit. We've got 2 additional liquids, and the recipe tells us to add them after the dry ingredients. However, that is a recipe for overworking your cookie dough, so I'm going to add those in right now. First up is some brewed coffee. The recipe calls for red food coloring. However, I've got this red velvet flavoring, which also has food coloring in it, so I'm just going to use that. And then we'll give this a quick mix to combine. Do a quick scrape on this beater just to make sure that we're getting an even coloration. And then we'll just mix in those scraped off bits. Beautiful. So this looks great. It's really fluffy, creamy, intensely red, and I think this is going to stand up to the cocoa powder really well. So now here we've got our prepared dry ingredients. I'm just going to pour this in all at once. And then we'll mix this over very low speed just to get those dry ingredients incorporated. And that was literally 20 seconds. As soon as the dry ingredients appeared to be gone, I stopped it. We've got to stir in our chopped chocolate anyhow, so if we see something that's not incorporated, we've got another opportunity to fix it. And then we'll give that a quick stir just to get everything combined. And I'm going to divert from the recipe process ever so slightly one more time. We need to chill this dough for 30 minutes, and the recipe wants us to do it in the bowl. That is my least favorite thing to do because this dough is already stiff. In 30 minutes, it's gonna be so hard to work with. So rather than doing that, I'm gonna scoop it and then chill it scooped. And that way it's just a lot more straightforward. As a word of caution, the instructions for portioning the dough are inconsistent on the blog. In one place it says to use a 1 tablespoon measure. In another place it says to use 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons is a pretty standard cookie size, so I'm gonna be using my OXO medium cookie scoop today to portion the dough. I'm gonna get some cling film on these and then we'll pop them in the fridge for 30 minutes to chill and then we're ready to bake. Typically, I like the kind of rustic shape of just a scooped cookie. However, since we're making sandwich cookies, I would like the cookies to be a little bit more round so it's easier to match them up in pairs. So per the recipe, I am gonna roll these into balls. We're gonna bake these at 350 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes until the edges are set. These cookies baked for 10 minutes. I let them cool on the pan for 10 minutes and then transfer them to a wire rack. Now we are ready to start decorating. So I've got some melted white chocolate just here in a piping bag. And we're just gonna do a decorative little drizzle across the surface. Now we just have to let these hang out until the chocolate firms up. I'm gonna pop mine in the refrigerator. Our first tray of cookies were chilling in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes, so the chocolate here is nice and firm. I'll have this entire tray be the bottom of our cookie sandwich. That way we can apply the filling now, and by the time we're done with that, the other cookies will be ready to get applied on top. So we'll just start flipping these all over. Then here in a piping bag, I've got half of our cream cheese buttercream from the other day, so we'll just pipe this on the surface. I'm gonna leave a little margin of safety around the perimeter since when we push them together, the icing's gonna spread anyhow. And just like we had hoped, the chocolate on our second tray of cookies is nice and firm, so now we can start pairing up the bottoms and the tops. And I'm gonna wait till I've got everyone paired up before I start pushing them together. And I think these are good matches for my pairs of cookies, so I'll just give them a little press and twist together to get that icing locked in. All right, perfect. So we are ready to enjoy. Overall, I really like the aesthetic of these cookies, and I'm just dying to give this a taste, so let's break it open and see how it is. Wow, that is so good. Really soft, chewy cookie. A little bit of crispiness on the edges and the sides. And I'm so happy that we used chopped chocolate rather than chocolate chips. These chocolate shards that are mixed in the cookie are just perfect. So yeah, if you are in the market for a red velvet sandwich cookie, I would definitely recommend you give these ones a go. I really hope you enjoyed this week's video. If you did, please be sure to give me a big thumbs up and click subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.